minute to decide to do that. Hi, we are now live. Welcome to the Madness Collective. That interview with Trump was off the chain insane today. I don't know if you saw, but Pepper and I are going to talk about it, although Pepper... So I text Pepper, was like, yo, this interview is happening. Pepper's like, okay. And then she's like, oh my God, this is like messing up my chi. I can't.
It does mess up my chi. I can't take it.
Yeah. So before all that, hi, I'm Crescent. Welcome to the Madness Collective. I usually have my dedicated co-host, Antoine, but he is on sabbatical. We miss you. Tonight sitting in is Miss Pepper Chambers.
Yeah. Hi, everybody.
Okay. So if it's the first time you're tuning in, we do our best to make sense of these headlines. We do what we can. So Dion's in the chat. What's up, Dion?
Dee.
Hey, Dion.
Yeah, in Chicago last week. Oh, I should have reached out. Anyway.
Yeah, Tony's in the chat. What's up, Tony? We shout folks out. So, show up in the chat. We say, hey. Oh, Karen, if you're watching on Facebook, I suggest you move to YouTube. That's just an FYI. Okay. So
I have a question about that. Is it as easy to comment?
Tony
shit show. I was just saying, is it as easy to comment on YouTube as it is on Facebook?
What happens is the bulk of the people are now on YouTube. So like you can't, if you're on Facebook, you can't see the YouTube conversations until I pull them up on the screen. So you can't, it's harder to be a part of the ongoing chat because you can't see it on Facebook unless I show it. So that's why we tell people to, hey, hello, what's up? So yeah. And also I did something different with like internet Wi-Fi access today. So there's a little bit of a lag. I'm not going to do this again. Just FYI, we trying things out. Anyway, focusing. Oh, okay. Tony said he thinks it's easier to comment on Facebook. No, doesn't matter. We are on YouTube. I just letting it play on Facebook because when I tried to upload last week's video on Facebook, it did not go well. I don't have time for these things. Okay. Okay.
Oh.
Moving on. So before we get into the crazy, and we're going to get into the crazy that was Trump's interview with the NABJ. Sorry, I don't even know how to write the acronym together. It's been a long day. But before that, just on a more sober note, a really great actress, comedic actress, and I don't want to say dramatic actress, Erica Ash, passed away. So condolences to her family and to her friends. I didn't know her, Pepper didn't know her, but we have a lot of friends who knew her. We have a lot of friends who are posting about her. She was 46 and she had been battling cancer. So just hug your loved ones, hug them, do that project. Pepper's always yelling at me about, I yell at her too. We yell at each other about projects and writing and stuff. So do the things you want to do.
Do the things, hug your friends, and go to the doctor, whatever that means for you.
It froze.
We're frozen.
It froze. Yeah, see this Wi-Fi situation? Okay, I'm going to do what we can. We're just going to get through the show. All right. So, NABJ. That actually sounds odd when you say it aloud.
NABJ.
Right? A little bit.
It does.
NABJ. That's why I was struggling to say BJ because I'm sorry.
Don't do it.
Discovery.
Don't do it.
I'm not.
We're not the first to think about the acronym. We are absolutely not the first to have this reaction. It's not true.
Can't be. So yes, Tony, I know. I appreciate you being on YouTube and not being on Facebook. He was like, I'm just answering as you asked. Fair enough. Okay. All right. So I wasn't planning to start out with the political stuff. We try and start out with some other things. I was going to start out with the Olympics because, yay, that's been going super well for the USA. Of course it has because we're dope. And then today happened. Yeah, there you go. So
gymnastics.
Right. So National Association of Black Journalists had their convention in Chicago. Started yesterday? I think it started yesterday, but it's going on right now. All right, through the weekend. Okay, Tony is making me laugh about the acronym, and I can't. I'm going to stay focused. Tony, stop.
The comments. I'm going to go to YouTube so I can see the comments.
Oh, Tony said, we say head, so we don't have to worry about the confusion.
spit all over my microphone. Kachua. Wait, what am I supposed to say? Hakchua.
Hakchua. Wait, I can't. We'll see what happens tonight.
Oh my God.
So, National Association of Black Journalists convention in Chicago, right? So it gets announced yesterday that Trump is going to get an interview. All hell breaks loose on Black Twitter. Again, yes, I still call it Twitter, and yes, we are still on there despite Elmo fucking it up. We still there, okay? So you know that's what he's doing, Pepper. It's a mess.
Yeah, it's fucking it up.
Cats are pissed off. One of the leadership resigns from the organization. So you have a couple people sort of kind of trying to defend the decision. They're like, look, journalists, every presidential nominee gets an invitation, during an election year. So, par for the course. Other people, Roland Martin was on MSNBC yesterday. He was outside, mad. He was like, and brought up with legit points. He was saying that, first of all, it being all women, and he was like, had it been all men who were interviewing Trump, I would have been like, you need some representation, right? So he brought some good points. People were pissed off. Yeah. And I was curious if they were actually going to even let it go forward. Mm-hmm. They let it go forward.
I think it was necessary.
Well, you know what, Pepper? Yeah, in hindsight, once it ended, and it ended early because his team was like, yeah, we gotta wrap this up. Because boy, was that a hot mess. But to that point, and I'm home. I'm so home. I'm happy I was home to actually watch it in real time. And so here is how it opened. So just bear with for 2 seconds, because this might be the only video I really kind of mess with, because I'm gonna be struggling. But right. I'm gonna do my best. Pepper. Okay, here we go. Okay. So this is how it kicks off, y'all.
Oh God.
Maybe this is how it kicks off.
I want to start by addressing the elephant in the room, sir. A lot of people did not think it was appropriate for you to be here today. You have pushed false claims about some of your rivals, from Nikki Haley to former President Barack Obama, saying that they were not born in the United States, which is not true. You have told 4 congresswomen of color who were American citizens to go back to where they came from. You have used words like animal and rabbit to describe Black district attorneys. You've attacked Black journalists, calling them a loser, saying the questions that they ask are, quote, stupid and racist. You've had dinner with a white supremacist at your Mar-a-Lago resort. So my question, sir, now that you are asking Black supporters to vote for you, why should Black voters trust you after you have used language like that?
Why indeed?
Well, first of all, I don't think I've ever been asked a question so in such a horrible manner. First question. You don't even say, hello, how are you? Are you with ABC? Because I think they're a fake news network, a terrible network. And I think it's disgraceful that I came here in good spirit. I love the Black population of this country. I've done so much for the Black population of this country.
I want
Thank you, Black people.
The elephant in the room, sir.
Okay, so.
Oh man.
So, okay, that's how it kicked off, and I literally was speechless. This was me watching it. And so a couple things, as aggravated as I was that they gave him a platform, at the same time, the ads that the Harris campaign are going to be able to use from this. So to continue, he said he's done, he loves the Black population.
He loves the Blacks. Hey, Blacks, I love you. Did you know that? Because you're cool. I love you, Blacks.
So he continued. He said, I have been the best president for the Black population since Abraham Lincoln. And then said that whole illegally crossing the border thing, and the whole Black jobs came up.
Black jobs.
So, and I'm quoting Crazy Man. He says, a lot of the journalists in this room are Black. I will tell you that coming from the border are millions and millions of people that happen to be taking Black jobs. Okay, a lot of the journalists in this room are Black. There are millions of people coming across the border taking Black jobs. Which Black jobs? This is the question. So then Rachel Scott says, what exactly is a Black job, sir?
That was fantastic.
The audience gasped, right? Like there were more than one occasion when the audience was like, a collective. And then he said, a Black job is anybody that has a job. So Pepper's husband is white, so he has a job. Is his job a Black job because he has a job?
And it was like, oh, like Black folks can't get jobs, so now anyone that has, I mean, there was this ridiculous statement in so many ways. It made no sense is what it is.
That's it. And it doesn't, you don't even need to try and make sense of it because if you can't. So a Black job is anybody that has a job. They're taking the employment away from Black people.
Just so you know, Black people, the border people are taking your jobs. What does that mean? And can I mention the Twitter thing that I saw or the comment? So on YouTube, but the thing I was watching on, the handle is, I need glasses. Liz Jones, Liz Jones 81 says, he's about to find out that POTUS is a Black job.
Facts.
He did it?
Big facts. Big facts. Okay.
I thought that was funny.
Yeah. Well, yes, it is. Because it is. He is about to find that out. Yeah, Karen, I hate the way he enunciates Black as well. I think
Black just sounds
in chat. What'd you say?
Sometimes the word Black hi Danielle, it's got this like short A and it just sounds very bad sometimes out of the wrong mouth.
Especially just straight up out of his, because he says it right. Colin said he says it Black with such disdain. Like there's a pronunciation issue that drives me crazy. He also then blamed the organization for the fact that they was late and that there was a sound, like there was an audio issue. No, people in the audience, Roland Martin was on Twitter, and then Yamiche Alcindor was on MSNBC, and she was like, there was no audio issue. We could hear everyone just fine.
They could hear. And he was kind of blaming that Rachel. I think he was blaming her directly. But then Harris, her name is Harris, right? Did say like it's something she couldn't hear either. But anyway, it doesn't matter because it came out in very much the way like you fucked up and we're late and audio. And I keep saying classic narcissist behavior. You just put all the onus on. It was ridiculous.
And the fact that it was the woman from Fox, Harris, sadly is her last name, is the one who was like, yeah, you're right, there's an audio issue. Everybody else said, no, there isn't. We can hear him just fine, right? So yes, you're backing up, your dear leader, which, fine, that's what you have to do. So, and then another big moment was he questioned Kamala Harris's bona fides.
You mean Kamala?
Kamala.
No, he's purposely saying it wrong.
Yeah, he does. He's a horrible man.
Yeah.
So because the whole calling her a DEI hire came up from Rachel, and he goes, and I quote, "I've known Harris a long time, indirectly, not directly very much. And she was always of Indian heritage, and she was only promoting Indian heritage. I didn't know she was Black until a number of years ago when she happened to turn Black, and now she wants to be known as Black. So I don't know. Is she Indian or is she Black?"
How? I mean, it's just in the moment. Even reading it doesn't do it justice. Like listening to it, if you guys haven't listened to it, you have to go listen to the way it comes out. It's just like this long diatribe, and then she turned Black, and you're like, what the fudge? It's just, I don't know. It's just ridiculous. I cannot get past the ridiculousness. And then it's almost like he's trying to make a point, but it just never works.
No, it didn't. And if I get 2 seconds, I can't find that clip because they're all the clips are everywhere. They're available. It just was, trying to rush to get ready. But I agree with Pepper. Yeah, if you get a second and you haven't heard it live, it actually coming out of his mouth, you should do that. Okay, wait.
It's worth it. Yeah. So, Colin, you say confusing Nikki Haley with Kamala. Interesting.
Yeah. Oh, that's a good point. Yeah.
Yeah. So, and then after, when we get there, I went to Rachel's Instagram to kind of be supportive, and because I wasn't following her, and so, man almighty, you guys, the vile, evil stuff that's being posted on her page, it's awful. And like even that point, like it's evil what people are saying, and so I'm like trying to combat And I'm like, this is futile. Even talking about him today, it's futile. But it's amazing, like how instead of just like all the decency is gone, all of the respect is gone, and so even trying to find respect in any of this that's why I keep calling it futile, because it's not there, and also because we are dealing with the narcissist. There is no rationality with these type of people. Actually, I'll even say this type of condition. I'll take it away from that. So that's my soapbox about that.
Okay, that's fine. Yeah, I was gonna try and find the comment, but it got said. There's a lot. I agree. Jason, that it would be nice to have these live fact checks like happening in real time. There was a Mother Jones headline that said, "White man tells black journalist his black opponent is not black."
That's fantastic.
I did have
you ain't black.
Yeah, this interview situation is gonna drive me slightly mad. But yeah, here's that headline. Yeah, like this is what we're dealing with. And yeah, that accordion business, what he does with his hands, exactly, Colin. Like that's the weird shit which we're gonna talk about. And then he threw JD Vance under the bus when he was asked about him as a VP and whether or not he thought that JD could be president on day one if that was needed. He's like, well, all that matters is me. People are voting for me.
I matter. If people like me, they're going to vote for me. If they want me there, it's because they like me.
Period. Like,
JD.
Okay, so right. So you don't think that your running mate is capable of assuming the position if he needed to? Okay, got it. In fact, as he said, choice of VP makes no difference.
Yeah. It's just dumb. It's dumb.
Insane. Yeah, he's dummy. He's crazy.
It's kind of unfortunate. Politics was bad enough, like even from when we were in junior high school and stuff. Oh, because by the way, I never told you this, Crescent. I went to a thing called Badger Girls State. This is because I grew up in Wisconsin, and they had this thing where you go, you're a delegate for your state, and you go to the Capitol, and you learn all about politics and all the things. And like you can run for Secretary of State, all the things. And at that point, I realized, oh, politics, wow, it's really hard because you have to be firm on something. You have to know all this stuff. That is no longer the case. Like we know this, right? Like the mockery of politics itself, it was already bad, but now we can't even be sort of political. Does that make sense?
Of course it
Until
does.
a number of years ago when she happened to join.
I found it, but before I play it. So yes, and George W. Bush was, we all thought he was like the worst president in our lifetimes.
Right?
Obviously Trump has that in spades. But there was an element of you're not intelligent enough to have this position, right? Like that was one of the big issues with him, and hence his VP being Dick Cheney. Like everyone was always like, Dick Cheney actually is the one who's really running the country. Now, I will say this in hindsight, and actually not even hindsight, George W. Bush actually honestly seemed like a decent man, right? Like I didn't like his policies, but again, those are policies of the Republican Party. I think him as an individual human being, I think they were like, you running, your daddy was president, you know how this goes, this is a dynasty, you're gonna win.
He's like, okay,
right, yeah. So, but to your point, and then when we move away from there, we get the most intelligent man. I mean, Clinton was very smart too, but then we get Barack Obama, right? Because we had such a terrible president in George W. Bush, who has the qualities you want in a president, right? Like there's the intellect is there, the experience, like and if he didn't have the experience, because it's not like he had held a lot of like elected positions ahead of time. Yeah. However, he was a very brilliant man, and he knew you put a team together. Like that is what you do, right? And so now that ends. You got this buffoon coming in who's all about like just trying to see how he can get another quick buck in his pocket. And you have this backlash to us having a black president for 8 years, and this rebellion against the elites and this, education element, right? Because colleges are ruining our children with this like liberal agenda bullshit. And so now we take this pride in being a fucking idiot, which is not just unfortunate. It is bad. It is bad for the country.
Yeah, like it's reflective of a bigger issue, like a much bigger issue. And there was something else I wanted to tell you. At my college graduation, at Marquette, go Marquette, I was a senior speaker, and Barbara Bush was the guest.
She was smart. Oh, George H.W. Bush was a very smart man.
They seemed like smart people.
No, Barbara Bush was very, like, she was a great first lady again for Republicans. Yeah. Okay. George H.W. Bush, I mean, had he been head of the CIA? Like, he had been in government for a long time, right? Running shit. And so, like, the Iraq War, the first one that he oversaw, we got in and we got out. Okay. Again, I don't like Republican policies. I will never be voting Republican. But to have a president who at least has all their faculties.
That's something. And right? To people and has some respect for the other people. Policies be damned. But I mean, let's have a conversation.
Be able to like hear out the other side, because the other side at least is going to come with, like, if there's a policy difference, then like, okay, articulate why it is that you feel this way about taxes, right?
Absolutely.
Articulate, but we should not be like, okay, we're going to completely defund public schools. Like that should actually not be a policy difference, right? Like, or that vaccines are bad across the board. Like, it is insanity now, and I hate it.
Yeah.
So, okay, I found what we were looking for.
Oh.
Okay. So this is him questioning Kamala's blackness.
And she was always of Indian heritage, and she was only promoting Indian heritage. I didn't know she was black until a number of years ago when she happened to turn black, and now she wants to be known as black. So I don't know, is she Indian or is she black?
She is always identified as a black woman. She went to a historically black college.
I respect either one, but she obviously doesn't, because she was Indian all the way, and all of a sudden she made a turn and she became a black person.
Just to be clear, sir, do you
never go back?
So that too, when you continue in a very hostile, nasty tone.
Thank you, Pepper, for reminding me to actually, because I forgot how bad it was.
And she was only promoting.
And also, nasty is a key word for Black women. Nasty. Oh my God, I get so angry. I don't even know why we're talking about this. But yes.
You told me to find a clip.
No, I know. I'm just saying, like, this is just riling us up for all the stupid ass reasons.
Well,
irritating. I'm going to have some more rum.
Yeah, that's why I'm drinking vodka, which I don't drink vodka. I tried to buy some wine tonight, and I have my ID, and I want to be like, do you not see this? Like, there's some gray hairs.
Give me the fracking alcohol.
Girl, do you know about
what did I couldn't read it fast enough. Intellectualism. I'm so sorry.
That's okay.
Rampant yes.
So Tony said there's rampant anti-intellectualism now that it's very scary. It's like they're using the movie Idiocracy. That's it. As a fucking roadmap.
Tony. Yeah, anti-intellectualism. Thank goodness all of us are intellectuals.
Oh, look. Yeah, we are, even though sometimes I can't pronounce all the words.
Well, Danielle, that's a good question. It's debatable because you know what? We've talked about this because we're all friends. In junior high school, I was called an Oreo. And so I guess I didn't really turn black until I became friends with you girls.
Oh, okay. Okay.
2002.
Okay.
I'm joking. I wanted to be black much sooner. I'm joking. I think I turned black in 1997.
Let's see. Huh. When did I? Well, my last name is Muhammad, so
you were already black.
Yeah, my mother's Gladys. Shout out to Gladys Muhammad.
Shout out Gladys.
You know, I grew up singing the national Negro anthem, so
you've been black from day one, Crescent.
Yeah, I have. Yeah. So, I had an afro as a baby. Yeah, sorry.
You did?
Yeah. One day my mom left me with my brothers to babysit, and she said she came home.
I love it so much.
Like, we comb Crescent's hair. She was like, "Don't touch my child again.
Don't do it."
Like,
everyone should put when they turn black in the chat.
Oh wait! I had another video I want to show. We'll see what we get through tonight.
Okay.
I'm gonna have fun. Okay, so this was a protest happening outside of the convention. I mean, outside of the Hilton. Can you hear what they're playing? Not like us. Kendrick's not like us. Trump's not like us. Trump's not like us.
Oh. So Republicans think Trump's not like us.
Sorry. So they're trumpets, yeah, right. Tubas, and they're playing Trump not like us. Kendrick's not like us.
Oh, yes, thank you. This is when you need Danielle on the show. Sorry, my bad. Dropped it. Sorry. I guess I'm not black anymore.
Okay. I have a friend, I'm not going to say who because she might be watching tonight. We were all together and she admitted that she had never seen an episode of Martin. So I'm not going to say who it is because I then made her watch an episode of Martin. I'm like, now you don't have to say that you've never seen an episode because that would be like hard. Snatched.
Oh my God. Lisa needs a black job. Not to be confused with the letters there. What's Captain Cancun? I don't get it.
I don't know because is that something to do with being light skinned and supporting Kamala Harris? I am confused. Oh yes, see, he said I've been a high yellow fella all my life.
Oh my, with a jet black interior. So listen, if I'm an Oreo, then what are you?
So
jet black interior. This is fantastic. See?
Oh, Lord help me. Okay, where are we in the time?
We've all got each other. This is why community helps heal. That's what's happening right now. We are healing one another, Crescent. That's what's going on with the Madness Collective. It is a healing moment.
You know what, Pepper? Thank you. Because I did not have time for this show tonight, but I made time because I knew y'all was already texting me because it was crazy times. It was a crazy day outside. And yes, I got it.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So moving on.
Yes.
To the extent that we can. So Kamala was in Houston tonight. That was already scheduled. And actually one of the black journalists, high five, who was on at MSNBC today said that like that was already set up, beforehand. And it was with maybe the Sigma Gamma Rose, one of the Divine Nine or sororities. I'm sorry, I don't want to say mispronounce. I mean, say which would be wrong with which one was.
We're not black on that Sunday.
Yeah. And so she had her she had her speech and it's the stump speech that she's been rolling with, which is great. She's talking about what she's going to do for the country. For those who talk about, I don't know her policies and blah, blah, blah policy. If you listen to her, she will outline what she's planning to do. That. So thank you, Jason. Yeah, hit like. So it's funny because she was going through her pre-planned speech, her prepared speech, and then she did address the crazy of today, but very calmly, right? Like like a leader, right? Like the contrast was so great because you got this orange man ranting and like black and like, I don't know is she black now? Like, what's that? And black jobs and like, oh my God, you're disrespectful and nasty and border being overrun, blah, blah, blah. And then you have this very poised, look, articulate, intelligent, right? Eloquent woman looking fly and fabulous on stage. And she's like, okay, look, this is how we gonna do this. What we gonna do? And she did address it. She said, same old show, divisiveness and disrespect. The American people deserve better.
Yes.
A leader who tells the truth, who does not respond with hostility when confronted with facts, that our differences do not divide us, and that our differences are a source of strength. Right? Like it was a great speech. And like again, she didn't play into the, let me respond to the insanity, except for, I caught it. It's he doing the same thing he do. Move it on, right?
Yeah,
like we're gonna keep it pushing. Love that. So like I said earlier, the team he was supposed to be speaking for an hour. His team. It was like, wait, what is that? Showtime at the Apollo and the Sandman.
That's what I'm talking about. Sandman.
Yeah, the pulling.
Yeah. It's insane.
I want to know, Karen said she became Blackity Black her second year sleepaway camp in Connecticut.
Oh, was it the hair? Karen, was it because of hair? Did your hair get wet?
Girl.
I used to change my hair up because my white friends thought so that they didn't know I didn't wash my hair every day.
Oh, really?
Yeah, totally. So that I was like, because their hair looked different all the time, and so I'm like, well, let me just do a different style every day.
Oh, that was yeah, yeah.
I know, pain. I was wondering about Megan Thee Stallion.
So that was in Atlanta the day before, and which
The
is
day
next on
before,
the
yes.
list.
What do we
Yeah.
think about that?
Oh no, I'm getting there.
I'm sorry. I jumped the shark.
It's all good. It's all good. So Houston was tonight, but yes, initially what I had on show flow was Atlanta was lit. So Megan Thee Stallion and Quavo. Okay. We also have the elected officials, Warnock, Ossoff, Stacey Abrams was there. But yeah, Megan opened up the show. She was dressed in like a really hottie pantsuit ensemble. There was dancers. Hotties for Harris was trending. And walk it out to the polls, not to Amigos. So what personally, Pepper, I loved about it was this engagement and interaction with the culture, right? Like with the kids, if you will. But
agreed. Yeah.
Like I loved every single. It was lit. Like she got a straight up rock star welcome. Like
I got
the
it. Yeah.
applause. Like the stadium was, I don't know, the arena, wherever they were, was packed. There were people outside still waiting to get in.
Wow.
Like you had this one young man who is, I think, the head of the Democratic, the Democratic Youth Party or something. Because the camera found him, they were playing Not Like Us. Oh. He was going ham. Like he was going in. Like it's just the energy and the optimism in the room.
Yeah.
And so I loved it. I absolutely loved it. What were your thoughts?
Well, I had a couple of things when I first, because who told me first was Matthew. That's like Megan Thee Stallion. I'm like, wait, what? And so I thought this is very interesting. And all I could think of, like, her ass, no disrespect, but I was like, oh, her ass is going to be all over the place. And now what? But so then when I saw the outfit, and again, I am judging, but I'm not judging. Megan, do you? But I thought, oh, I was thinking the things, what does that mean? Like, are we just trying to bring in the young vote? And that's why. And so then when I saw her in the blue, I thought it was really, yes, it was classy, but not just, I'm laughing because I found letters from my grandma, and my grandma was like, men only want one thing. And that's in my head. Like, this is upbringing. So I have to express that I do come from a more conservative background from my grandma. However, when I saw the blue pantsuit, I just thought that was a great nod to women, like the politicians. I really liked that. And I really liked that she was still herself. She was still being and that's important. She should not be herself.
No.
And when has now I have chills. When has this ever happened before?
But that's like, right. And so everyone is saying it's the same energy, the similar energy or same to Obama, right, in 2008. But now there's even more on it, just given the change in social media. I mean, we had it then, but it's so much more a part of our culture now, and the different artists and the fans' engagement with those particular artists, right? Like people love Megan, and
they love her.
If you are trying to energize the youngins, right, the youngers, who better, right? Look, I'm hoping K-Dot, hey, Kendrick, can you like come up with a verse of Kamala? Girl, right? So like I loved every element of it because that is what is needed. And I'm going to mention the different Zooms that have kicked off for her because that is the Democratic Party. It is a big tent. It is not like the Republican Party where everyone is like, these are the beliefs and that is it. There's no room for a difference of opinion. Barely room for you to look different, right? So that is not the Democratic Party. And the whole point is more engagement. And so there have been record fundraising, a lot of people first-time donors. There have been record voter registrations, and then that critical 18 to like 34 range. So, and I appreciated the outfit that Megan had on.
It was fun. I just thought it was a cute nod to the moment.
Yeah.
It was a nod to the moment. And also,
I agree. Like branding wise, it was great marketing. Yeah.
Yeah. I was going to say the other thing is that there's fun, and yes, we need policy. We really, really, really need policy. So I'm not trying to say that we don't. And is that there is a togetherness from the party that is nice when it's there, and it's not so divisive and it's not so, I don't know, boring is the lack of a better word.
Yeah, there's a lot of variety in the Democratic Party. There's a lot of colors, a lot of range, and that's what it should be. That's America. That's America. Like,
I mean, that's America. Yeah.
So just a couple of other highlights from the Atlanta rally. So this is from Harris. She said, as many of you know, before I was elected vice president, I was an elected attorney general and an elected district attorney. Hear me when I say, I know Donald Trump's type, and I have been dealing with people like him my entire career. Then there was a chance of lock him up.
When like the spontaneity and shit like that is so fantastic. People are so brilliant sometimes.
Lock him up. Facts, though. Facts.
Full freaking circle here.
Facts. Hey, CJ's in the chat. So then she continued because, everybody's trying to like stick her with the border. And I'm so happy she's addressing that head on. So she spoke about walking underground tunnels at the California border and prosecuting traffickers and pledging to bring back the border security bill that was tanked in Congress by the Republicans because Trump told them to tank it. And so she is a great deliverer of this message because, and that was part of the issue at the debate.
Yeah.
Is that Biden didn't like call him out on that when he started going in on about the border. Well, he didn't call him out in a way that was easily articulated to everybody. So
sure.
Anyway, but she's like, no. We have a bill. We got a bill that was ready to move forward till you opened your orange mouth and told your minions to like kill it. And that's what they did. And so then she says, he does not walk it as he talks it. So she was referencing the Migos. I was like, this is what I'm talking about. And it wasn't corny, right? Like it was very organic. I mean, I know it was prepared, but it was fitting. It was fitting for the crowd. It was fitting for the moment.
Yeah.
And then she said she would go after price gouging and hidden fees by banks and other companies. She would take on landlords to cap unfair rent increases, policy stuff, and to cap prescription drug costs. And then she said, there are signs Trump is feeling the competition. You may have noticed he pulled out of the debate. Then she said, and she repeated him being weird, which we're going to get to in a second. I do hope Trump will agree to meet me on the debate stage because as the saying goes, if you got something to say it to my face. And the crowd went wild. I mean, honestly, Pepper, I would have lost my shit. Like I'd been like screaming like I'm at a concert.
I think I would have too. Just to be in that moment would be so fun. And also like who here, especially who here hasn't had that? Who is your person? LaTanya Sutton was the one. I shouldn't call her. I don't know where she is these days. She was the one that called me onto the playgrounds. Like you got something to say it to her. And that was the only first fight I ever had. So it was terrible. I don't like fights. I don't like conflicts. But that's just like, you got something to say it to my face. And it's true.
Question. Had you been talking about her behind her back?
I think it's possible.
Okay. All right.
Not because they didn't like me. And I can't remember. And LaTanya didn't like me either. I don't know what happened, but she called me to the playground and that's what it was.
Well,
I hope she's okay today.
Okay. Okay.
Did you have one of these? You probably did.
I did not. No, I did not. I honestly was pretty much cool with everybody. So there wasn't anyone that I needed to be like talking shit about, rightly or wrongly. Right.
Not even in junior high school.
No. I had a one-time bully for like 2 seconds. And I think she quickly realized that it was kind of futile because there were too many other people in the orbit who were like, why are you fucking with her?
Why are you doing that? Exactly.
They got shut down. So like I didn't even have to I didn't do anything.
I know.
So which was great. Thank y'all for protecting me.
Exactly. Thank you, friends. I think it's because I was a new kid, but the yes and. But then what I like about the analogy there too, same with Megan doing what she did, is that I can't talk and read at the same time.
I can
you went, Danielle? Oh, fun. Yeah, Stepford Wise. Oh my God.
So Danielle said 2006, I went to the DNC and the RNC. The DNC was like a Hollywood party, fun music. The RNC felt like Stepford Wives. Well,
yeah, that's terrifying.
Oh, by the way, the RNC had Amber Rose.
Oh, really?
Who they claim was a rapper, whatever. And we gonna have Megan Thee Stallion. So just to keep it
pulling for straws. But I was to say to my face is the analogy. It's the perfect analogy of dealing with a bully. Do you know what I mean? Like, and I just think it's brilliant, and it's very smart. It's really fun and smart. So
yeah, it's fun, it's smart, it's the culture, right?
It's the culture.
Like,
yeah.
So for him to be up there talking about, is she black, motherfucker?
You don't know. You don't know yet. You're about to find out.
You're about to find out. So I don't want to. I want to highlight Karen's comment because she was talking about how she found out she was black in Connecticut at sleepaway camp.
Oh yeah, that part. Danielle hot flash.
Karen said what happened was the girls tried to make her and another black girl their slaves.
At camp, I'm so sorry.
And then she said she completely broke down and both of us didn't have to cook or clean the rest of the summer. Okay, well, okay.
Cook or clean. Oh God. I'm sorry, Karen. That's awful.
It is awful, but it sounds like she got them to like wait on her and the other girl for the rest of the summer. I'm not, but I'm just saying, what a turn of events. So
that's terrible.
It is. But these are the things that Black people contend with growing up in this crazy ass country. Exactly. So for somebody to sit up there in all his orangeness and question somebody's blackness, sir. Anyway, moving on. So I'm gonna mention this super quick. I'm glad Quavo was like part of the Atlanta rally because you got cats like Sway Lee from Race Swimmer, whatever fuck. I don't know. I actually like them. I like the group and I like him. He's a good like writer. But he got ignorant shit to say. He was like, do not vote for Kamala. Do your research on the whole camp. I'm not actually gonna read all of his shit, but he's one of those. He's in the camp of like, she's not here for Black people, blah, blah, blah. So he got shut down. A lot of people were like, you don't know what the fuck you're talking about. So you're going to sit here and be like, oh, Trump is the answer? He's not, right? So it was just a mess on Twitter the other day. Yeah.
Can I ask a question or did you want to read something?
No, go ahead. I'm not going to read it.
So someone like, and I'm very much open to have your opinion, right? I know you and I might disagree on that, but I'm like, have your opinion. So, but for someone like that.
Have an informed opinion, but go ahead.
Sure. So then does that person, are they automatically for Trump? Or are they just saying, because there are people like, we know that Kamala is not perfect and all these things, right? Yeah, so is this person saying like, you know, take the wool off your eyes and get real, but they're not pro-Trump, or are they just, do you know what I'm saying? They're just going to be like, let's look at the facts or not.
I will go ahead and I'll read the rest of his quote. But before that, there's the contingency of voting third party, because there's someone I was actually engaging with who's in the family on Facebook, which I ordinarily would have just kept on going past this post, but I decided to do my part and be like, okay, what are we talking about? And you know, the response was, I'm not voting for either of them. I'm writing someone in. Okay, well, in the way our current political system works, that means you're going to give more weight to the bad party, right? Like, so not voting for Kamala basically becomes a vote for Trump because you're not getting Kamala enough votes to beat Trump. And this whole conversation about third party, it's cute, but y'all can't in an election year start talking about third party. If you want a legitimate third party situation to happen, you need to get started today for 2028, right? Like, and that is the big issue with conversations about third party. And I'm sorry, you need funding, right? Like you need a groundswell of support for that. You can't just in an election year pop up like, yeah, I'm your third party candidate, RFK Jr. That's not how this works. It isn't. And then also, what are you coming with? Like, what is your policy plan? Get started on it. And so those who talk about third party during an election year, all you're doing for me is showing me that you've not been paying close attention and you listen to some nonsense on YouTube or whoever is in your circle smoking a blunt thinking they like the fucking hood pastor. Like, stop it. Just like, please stop. I'm sorry. I said a lot. Hey, Cecily's in the chat. Hi, Cecily. She's like, I clicked on a link. I was watching ODAP and I was like, where are they going to get to Trump? Oh, yeah. No, we're.
Oh, I love it. Like, what's going on?
Yeah, I'll figure out how to make sure you're like in the right place next time. Okay.
Well, it is interesting with the third party stuff, and I agree. And because the Democratic Party, obviously, we are all raised in it, and there's things that can change. There's things that we can learn and do differently. But I agree. Like, if you want change, any of us, if we want change, you have to. I love what you said. You have to start now and like really start doing something, because we can't. Like, we're in crisis mode, but crisis mode started a while back, right? And but if we want to make change, I mean, maybe it's our nephews and nieces that can actually do something there. But right now, I just feel like we're in crisis mode and we gotta,
we literally have to save a democracy. And so those who are talking about voting third party, if you don't keep Trump out of the White House, you will not be able to vote again for a long time. And I've said this repeatedly on the, our shows this year in particular. I am not being hyperbolic. I am not. He has, like, the last couple things that he had been saying the last couple of days is telling his audiences, you don't have to worry about voting again. Vote for me this last time, and you don't have to worry about voting again. Rachel Maddow spent like her good 30 minutes of her show Monday night talking about what he's getting at when he says that. And the crazy billionaires who are funding this insanity of like democracy doesn't work anymore. We need to have the rich people be fully in control. And that's that. Like the not even fascism, like this the autocrat situation, which is the element of fascism. Whatever. It ain't good for us. Okay. Right. And so I liked Karen's point. No, was it Karen? Who said it? Oh, yeah, Karen said this. Waiting to see a third party for a midterm election. Right. So start locally. Okay. Like start the midterms. Okay. Like if it's that important to you, then get going with it. Get it set up. And so also Karen said, someone who talks about do your research are people who can't even name the three branches of government.
I know it's terrible.
So I'm gonna go ahead and read Sway's. So he's do not vote for Kamala. Do your research on that whole camp. I pay over millions in tax dollars every year. This man sent a whole nother country. I'm just quoting. These little dollars that come off of your checks, they gave it away. Think about that shit. Okay, so you don't fully understand how like foreign policy works and why it's important to like help other countries to stop World War III from happening. Okay, that's fine. The money we send away, every American citizen could have got a minimal 200 grand. Think about that. That's not accurate. But I guess we don't need that shit. And y'all standing for Kamala. My black people, she don't do nothing but sign off on things against y'all. I don't know what you're talking about because I would ask you for receipts, but I bet you don't have them. So he said voting just because you think she's black is not going to end in your favor. So you another one, and I'm sorry, Pepper, I would really try not to go there, but you a whole light-skinned little motherfucker yourself. So why are we over here questioning somebody else's blackness? Sir, I'm not here for it. But these are the call outs that these people need, okay? Because like, who are you to question someone's blackness? And what's been interesting today is cats are like, she went to an HBCU. She's an AKA. Fuck that shit. You ain't got to list this woman's black credentials. She is black. We're done here. I'm sorry. She's black and Indian. She has said that. She has talked about her mother is Indian. Her father's Jamaican. In America, one drop, you black. If she walking down the street, guess what? Black police officers gonna be like, that's a black bitch. Period. Okay. So we're done here. This is not a conversation. I'm not even trying to engage in it. But you got these idiots on here that other people sadly follow. They talking about you don't understand how taxes work. And I'm sorry, sir, you are giving away a lot in taxes because you make a lot of money. You're not hurting. You're not struggling to figure out how to pay rent. You're not struggling to figure out how to put your kids through school. I don't know if you have them or not. You're not concerned about paying your bills.
Right.
Why are you out here mad because, you have to pay taxes? Now, yes, our taxes could be applied better. I 100% agree with that. But guess who gets in the way of that shit? Republicans. So, Pepper got me going. Anyway, so one person said in response to that, so why do you favor a rapist and a felon? Which he actually, I don't know, talking about Trump, obviously. Why do you want the United States to become a dictatorship where if he were to become president, anyone who opposes him gets jailed or assassinated? Do you really want that? Valid question.
Yeah.
Right. And someone else said Harris is the best choice against Trump. Her leadership, experience, and commitment to justice will steer America toward a brighter future. So that's the thing too. So you're saying things, I'm like, I need receipts from what it is that you think you're talking about, that her voting against black people. What are you talking about?
What does that mean? Just say it. Like, yeah, tell us what you think it is. It's, just be clear.
Yeah. So, sorry. Who's like Sway said this? No, yeah, not Sway.
Oh, I was like, Sway. I know, right?
Yeah, my bad. Sorry. Yeah. That guy, the younger guy.
Oh, with a similar name. Oh my God, there's so many new people. Okay,
so moving on. So speaking of this coalition building. So White Dudes for Harris, they had their Zoom, and it lasted more than 3 hours, and it had 180,000. Each Zoom is getting more and more people on it. Right?
Can you imagine Zoom? Can you imagine the stock? And these people are like, oh my God. I was like, how's Zoom not going to crash? How exciting that this platform, if it hadn't been for fracking COVID, we wouldn't have had the platform in order for this shit to happen. It's fantastic.
Isn't it amazing? Like just, yes. Like how, like where we are and what we're able to capitalize off of. Yeah. Whoa. So again, just as a reminder, this all kicked off with Win with Black Women, who held their, I think it's a weekly meeting. So we had someone who was a part of that Zoom, Mornike. Thank you again, Mornike, for joining us. Thank you, Danielle, for suggesting Mornike join us. She was on that Zoom with Win with Black Women, and they raised, I know it was over $1 million. It's either 1.3 or 1.5. And they were expecting 1,000 because it's a weekly call that they do. And they had 44,000, and they had to hit up the CEO of Zoom to make this work. Then Win with Black Men had their call, I think the next day or the 2 days after that, they raised over $1 million. And then White Women had their call, and they raised 8.5 million, and they had 164,000 participants. And so Hispanic women, gays for Harris, Native Americans, like it is Asian Americans.
Asians do it. Did they show up too?
I am loving all of this. Cool? It is. And going back to the White Dudes for Harris Zoom. So Bradley Whitford, he said about so many white male speakers, it was a rainbow of beige.
That's fantastic, a rainbow.
And then Governor Pritzker from Illinois, he joked that he was like, I wouldn't normally attend an event that was a name like White Dudes For. But he was like, but it's for a good cause, so this makes sense. Yeah, so it was great. They had jokes, but from what I read about the white women for Harris call and the White Dudes for Harris call, is that at the very beginning of it, they are calling themselves out. They're saying like, this is where we have dropped the ball in the past.
Wow.
We can't do that again. The women the white women in particular were like, yeah, that 2016 shit, no. And this is how, they are just calling themselves out, acknowledging where they fucked up. They were talking about learn from Black women. I was like, oh, music to my ears. They were like, we have to learn from Black women. They have been trying to tell us, they have been trying to show us, listen to them. Okay. And they're also like, and we have to talk to the women in our circle, right? Like that will be our job to make them understand the importance of this. Right. And so there is a lot of self-reflection, there's a lot of soul searching. There's a lot of just acknowledgement of like, yeah, we fucked up. We can't do that again.
Yeah.
Everybody gotta get on board.
Yeah.
So,
together.
And that's what has been so, just so uplifting about it is this energy.
Yeah.
And like I said, it's very similar to how it was with Obama, but I think even more so coming off of like having Trump as the president, and we get Biden, he gets the country back stabilized and moving forward in a very positive way, with the threat of like not just going back to how it was under Trump, but way worse. Like it is so much more at stake now. Yeah. And so to hear and see that there are other communities that fully understand that, has been just very, very encouraging. There were like Republican mayors who were talking about, I'm voting for like I'm not, Trump is crazy. Like, or weird. Weird is the word. So we'll switch to weird real quick. Okay. So Minnesota Governor Walz, who I'm now kind of quietly obsessed with, Tim Walz, he was the one who first said it. He was like, their policies, he's like, they're weird. It's weird. It has taken off like wildfire. They hate it. MAGA hates it. They are losing their minds, Pepper. They're like, oh my God. It's so juvenile. Well,
you set the bar, friends.
Okay. I'm sorry, JD Vance and his eyeliner, weird. JD Vance and his comments about catless single ladies, weird. Okay.
Where's my cat? Yeah.
So it's been this whole, the guy, Jesse Waters on Fox, who's like a total tool. He's like the worst. He said, if you vote for a woman, then that turns you into a woman. That is a quote, Pepper. He said that out loud, like on camera. Like you can Google it, find it. So that don't sound weird. That don't sound weird. That's weird. Like, why y'all concerned about what's happening in people's bedrooms? Like, y'all are weird, right? Like, you want to put babies to work. You want to put children to have them like change child labor laws so they can go to work after middle school and work all through the night, but you don't want to feed kids during the day at school, right? Like, your policies
like that
are trash.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't have time to talk about JD Vance and this couch because I promised Pepper an hour. And I got
that's nice. I found a quote too from Wendell Pierce on Twitter that I found yesterday that I wanted to read.
Go for it.
It's okay. Okay. So I was looking for something else, but he says, I hate this weird messaging. Don't tip around misogyny and racism. These are belief systems that they are espousing. White replacement theory is because of women not having babies. It's not weird. It's white nationalism ideology. To label it weird lessens the danger it reflects. Banning contraception, banning books for immorality are all in the playbook of fascist movement. The Khmer Rouge killed anyone who wore glasses because they believed they were the intellectual class and a threat to their regime. It's not weird. It's offensive.
So
I copied that because I'm like, that's interesting to think about. What do you think?
He has an absolute point. And he said Khmer Rouge, right?
Khmer Rouge, yeah.
Who knows who that is, Pepper? Right? He has a point. And those of us who are learned, right? Like, I mean, I actually don't know exactly what it is off the top of my head, but I'm like, I have a vague idea, right?
People
but like,
died.
Yeah, he's not wrong, but this is a marketing issue, right? This is a branding thing. Like, you have to reach people who normally are not paying attention, right? Who don't understand what fascism means.
That's what the comment said. They're like, this is what people get. They understand weird.
They fucking understand weird. And it is landing and it is stressing them out. MAGA they know they are on the ropes because weird is sticking, right? And the youngers, that's their word. Like they're quick to call someone like, you're a weirdo. And it works, right? It's an automatic understanding like, okay, I don't know what the shit is that you're on, but it's not normal. And I'm cool on it, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, Karen, reach people where they are.
No, it's true. It's great. And it is weird. And like, that's how people are feeling. Even if you don't know any facts, you're like, I feel weird because this doesn't make any logical sense. So of course you're like, you know what I mean? Your body, you're literally feeling weird.
You feel, well, it's uncomfortable.
It's uncomfortable.
And you're like, I don't understand how is it that another American has such a drastically different view, not just of like, like I like shrimp and you like hamburger. Like, it is not that is fine. I don't, who the fuck cares? Or look, putting pineapple on pizza, I don't like that. I think it's a little weird. That weird is okay. I know people love that shit. I don't. I'm cool on it, whatever. But no, you think it's okay for people who are not of the medical profession, who are not a pastor, right? I'm sorry, what you said?
I was being funny. We can't be friends now because I was making a point, but I overtalked you. Go on.
Okay, but
weirdo-ness.
I love you regardless if you like.
I love you regardless.
Pineapple on pizza. It's fine. Like, I'm not.
I'll pick it off.
It's okay.
You would pick it off.
I would pick it off. If you wanted me to order you a pizza with pineapple on it, I would do that. I would eat it, but I would order that for you. See?
That's politics.
This is how this should work, right?
See, everyone?
Not you as a not doctor telling me what I should do with my body, right? Like, that is not okay. And there's a lot of ways to describe that are great vocab, but at the end of the day, mind your business. Your over interest in what the fuck is happening with me is weird. Okay. And it's your over interest in me that's actually not for my well-being, right? It's not like you're concerned about, do I have a roof over my head? Am I getting enough food to eat? Like, am I getting a proper education? That's not what you're concerned about. In fact, you're actually actively working against that. What the fuck is that about? That shit's weird, homie. Okay. So here we are. Yeah. And JD Vance and that fucking couch shit, weird. Okay.
Weirdos.
I don't have time to go down that rabbit hole, but it turns out, so just super quick though, allegedly it was in his book, but people were saying it was in the very, very first edition, the very first printed version of it. And then for the like mass publication of it, it got taken out. That's what was getting said. And there was a passage where he talked about having a sexual experience with a sofa, like just whatever. However, I think that it's not accurate actually, because there's a guy who came up with it who I think knew him from like, they grew up in the same area or something. And he basically was like, but he seems like the type of dude who would do that.
Well, if you were trying to like hump the couch, I mean,
sure,
there's holes there, you know. If you were trying to, I'm thinking of things I shouldn't be talking about.
Okay, it's all right. Speaking of weirdos, transition segue. I did have Amanda Seales on here. And like I said, I know people who know her and like her, and she recently had something to say again about Kamala, and it's like, girl, yeah, see, yeah.
Let's talk about your eyelashes because they look really cute.
Well, that's why I was almost late. Thank you, Ashley.
You look very pretty.
I appreciate you. Thank you.
I appreciate you too.
Also, very pretty and very awesome and very elegant and powerful, Simone Biles. Go Olympics! Yay! So, led by Simone, the U.S. women's gymnastics won gold yesterday, and she won her 8th medal, making her the most decorated American gymnast in the history of the games. She was actually already the most decorated gymnast in history from any country, if you include world championships. So she now has 38 combined world and Olympic medals.
It's
USA. I kept seeing all these memes and posts like, yeah, it's fuck America all day long until the Olympics. And then it's like, go America.
It's fantastic. And, yesterday I had to watch it at night, so not in real time. And I was just so excited and thrilled by all the diversity, and just now I had to Google who was our first Black gymnast. Do you know who it was to win individual all around?
Dominique? I don't know.
Good work. It's between Gabby and Dominique. Dominique was the first African-American to win an individual Olympic medal in artistic gymnastics. And then Gabby was first to win individual all-around title. Okay, so at least we had Dominique and Gabby, but I don't know about you growing up. Like, there was nobody. And then I just think
Mary Lou Retton from our era, right?
I know, right? But it's just so fantastic in so many different types, and I'm just so proud and happy, and it's just wonderful.
It is. It's like, and that exactly what you said, just watching it, all that diversity across a lot of the different sports, right? Like,
completely.
I absolutely love it. Karen said, I can't watch the Olympics without getting emotional at any moment.
Completely, Karen. I cry every single time. And even now it's just, I don't know what it is. Do you love watching winning? I think it's like watching or knowing that people work so hard and seeing the payoff.
The guy who won the pommel horse, because like I said, I live on Twitter, and he was like basically stationary in one spot for like 2 hours, and like he's the only American like representing, like it was some sort of like kind of there was something very distinctive about it, but like he killed a pommel horse. Like that shit was awesome. Like it was just dope. Like, and again, when am I ever watching a pommel horse?
And then why is it? And that's amazing. It's still there, right? Yeah, that's good, right, Danielle, with the fellow Bruin, Jordan Childs. How exciting! And also the other woman, because I don't know her as well. She's from Arizona. She's from Phoenix, and so there's that excitement. And then I saw a Black man, male gymnast in the ads. So I don't know who he is yet, but can you hear the dogs? I apologize. What'd you say?
I said, what's happening back there?
I don't know. I apologize.
It's okay. It's all right. We're going to wrap up soon because I promised you an hour and I got stuff to do. So another thing I want to highlight with the Olympics is, so Flavor Flav, has been like all over the women's polo situation. I didn't really understand why. I just knew he was like really supporting them, but he legitimately is like he sponsored them after he read about them talking about having to work 2 or 3 jobs.
That's awesome.
Yeah. He was like, what? He was like, no. I got this. And I'm like, he stepped up. Like, how amazing. And that's the other thing too, Pepper. Like, people of color in this country come through. We are supported, right? Like, even if we really ain't got the means, you know what I'm saying? Right? Like, we come through and we're like, what can I do to help you be great? What can I do?
What can I do?
That's what we do.
Of all the people, right? Flavor Flav, and then Snoop in the pool with Phelps. I'm like, this is just people just getting to be themselves. Really
trying to fence. Snoop is all over it. Like, and Snoop's journey, right? Like, think about how we were first introduced to Snoop Dogg, right? Like, and all the things we know from him, the things he's been a part of that were like, and just to see who he's grown into, right? Like, for me, the only person also missing from being in Paris was Leslie Jones, because her commentary is awful. I don't know why she wasn't there, but I mean, she might be working on something, but I know she's been on Twitter, like, with her commentary, but she's next. Look, and we'll be in LA. It'll be in LA in 2028. So I need to see Snoop back, and I need Leslie in the mix. So,
absolutely.
Okay, Danielle said the women's 100-meter freestyle swim is about to start.
Okay.
I'm planning to try and watch the breakdancing stuff. That's in August like 9th and 10th.
Can you believe?
I know, right? So yeah, I'm loving like how this is all coming together. Just, America out there representing. So look, we out here representing on the world stage. Make sure y'all come home and represent here so that we can keep our country going the way it needs to go. Because it's wild in these streets right now. But I am optimistic about this election in a way that I wasn't before. So
you know what? Matt said the same thing, that he stood there and he's like, I'm starting to feel better.
I honestly, there has been a weight lifted off my shoulders that I did not realize how heavy, all of this was for me.
Yeah.
Because I was, I was biting her bus. Like, it is what it is. But just trying to talk to people about that and then being like, I don't think I want to participate. I'm like, okay, well, then white supremacy, it's on the other ticket. Like, I'm sorry. So, Pepper, thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you for asking me. It was lovely to be here. I had fun.
Yeah.
As always. It was nice tonight. Thank you. Good job, 47. That's a cute shirt. Where'd you find that?
Girl, Amazon. So, I just have my little ass on Amazon. And
I have on, this is my contribution to today.
I didn't know what that was.
This is the Justice Museum in Alabama.
Oh, yeah. Well, Pepper, you got to explain. I mean, now I get that it's a chain that's like broken, but I didn't understand.
Yeah. I mean, that's their logo, but yeah, I went 2 or 3 summers ago, and if you have not been, you must go.
But be ready, because it's emotional.
Woo! Have you been?
No, because I need to prepare myself. My mom
you have to prepare.
My mom went, and she didn't. I don't even know if she said she made it all the way through. So.
Oh my gosh, from the lynching museum, and I found the county where my family's from, and there were 3 lynchings there. Like, it is insane to see it, and I feel like everyone must go. Like, you must go. So that's my contribution today.
Yeah, having major in AFAM and like growing up very black.
You're black.
Yeah, no, not I am, but also just I know, right? Like, I know our history and very intimately, and so I now actually have to do a little bit better about protecting what's on my heart. Being in that type of space, I want to see it because I'm like you, like I want to see it and just acknowledge it. Homage to our ancestors, and again, we are here because they survived that
completely,
right? And so, but I also think it's super important for all Americans to go.
Everyone must go. And there's something specifically for us, and I know we're trying to go. There's something, as painful it is, I can't describe, but it was also very healing, because it is like, right, it is the what I'm going to swear today, the fucking perseverance that our ancestors had to go through just to get to this. You're just like, man, let me go do something. You know what I mean? And in that case, you look at so many people died, but so many people didn't. Yeah. And what can we do now? And how will I be a part of this story? And you're crying and bawling, but you're also like, man, let me go do something.
No. And you know what? And like, I watch, even that still affects me with stuff I'm just watching from like Stax Records. I watched that documentary on HBO. Pepper, I was ready to fight. Okay. Like, I was fucking infuriated. But to your point though, who am I to like not participate in this process? Like, those who came before me sacrificed so much, worked so hard. And that's honestly why and how I get so indignant when I hear, particularly from our community, talking about, this country, whatever, and like, I'm not participating. I'm just like, you just don't know. You're just not aware. And it's sad. It's really sad.
It's really sad.
So, So I'm glad you wore that baseball cap, because that is an important reminder. If you guys have not checked out the museum, you should. Thank you guys for watching. We got at least 1 heart that I can see. But like the show, subscribe, tell a friend. We'll be back next Wednesday.
That's so nice. Good job, crafting it.
Thank you, Pepper. Good job, Pepper. We did it. High five.
Did it. High five.
Love you guys. Tune in. And yes, Antoine will be back. I promise. You coming back. You coming back.
We love Antoine. Everyone needs a break.
I gotta sneeze. Okay, we gotta go.
Okay. Love everybody.
To quote Antoine, so that his send off stays in here. Toodles to you niggas.
I was gonna say we didn't say